What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Today's video is another 30-year retrospective, this time focusing on Fat Joe. 30 years ago today, he dropped his sophomore album, Jealous One's Envy. And before I go into the album, I want to talk about a few things as normal. I think I first heard Fat Joe in 1993, and it was the song Flow Joe. On that Represent album, there was a few tracks that I found myself liking, but I never really got into the album like that. Maybe it's due for a revisit at some point, but like I said, Flow Joe, that's the first time I heard Fat Joe, and from there, I became a fan. Now, in present day 2025, Fat Joe may catch a lot of flack from a lot of people, but from 1993 all the way up till about 2001, you could count on Fat Joe to give you something solid or something pretty good, whether it was the production that he had, whether it was due to his affiliation with the legendary Digging in the Crates crew, whether it was the late great Big Pun being by his side, whatever you want to say, you could count on Fat Joe to give you something pretty good. And I think this retrospective is going to shine light on that. So, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the album itself. I'm just going to talk about the individual songs. I'm not going to focus on the skits or anything like that. So, to open the album, we have Bronx Tale featuring KRS-One. And speaking of Digging in the Crates, this was produced by Diamond D. I've always thought that this was a dope opener, and 30 years later, it still is. Joe and KRS, they came with such an aggressive style over some dope production, Diamond D production, and it featured ill samples thanks to J. Rooted Damages, Come Clean, Cool G rapping DJ Polo's Ear Street Blues, and Sammy Nestico's Shoreline Drive. 5 out of 5 for this opener. Definitely a dope song. Next up, we have Success, produced by Domingo. Hustling is the key to success. Money is the key to sex. The life is getting cash, drinking more, getting blessed. The games people play, the names people slay. It's just another ordinary day. And that hook right there, it defines this song in a nutshell. Also, the album's first single. And even at this point in 1995, once you heard a song like this, you heard them all. But like I always say, if it's done right, it usually results in something good. So does Joe succeed here? Pun intended? I think so, and I give it 4 out of 5. The next song up, we have Envy, produced by LES. To start, I gotta give mad props to LES for the way that he utilized the late Marvin Gaye's classic Sexual Healing for the beat. In addition, Fat Joe, he starts this one off by saying, quote unquote, this goes out to all my peeps locked down, all my peeps who passed away. And the song focuses more on the evils of jealousy and envy in the streets and the desire to keep it going in the face of it all. Again, when you make a song like this and the content backs it up, it can be very good. And I think that's the case here. And whoever that lady was on the hook, she was never credited, but it did sound like it was Miss Jones. 4 out of 5 for this one. Next up, we have Fat Joe's in Town featuring DJ Doo-Wop, produced by LES. And a word on Doo-Wop, if I may. I've been a fan of DJ Doo-Wop since 1995, and if you're a longtime fan such as myself, y'all remember that he was really making a name for himself at this point on the mixtape scene in New York. And when you hear 95 Live Part 1 and 95 Live Part 2, you remember how incredible those mixtapes were. The freestyles, the exclusive songs, all that. Doo-Wop was a big name in the Bronx at the time, and mad shout out to him for all of the work that he's put in over the years, specifically on the mixtape scene. So shout out to Doo-Wop. Joe said, motherfuckers know my rap. I never fronted. Ninjas be talking mad shit, but they don't want it. Y'all know how Joe do. He's in town, and he's here to stay by any means necessary, nothing more or less. Hey, yo, microphone check, 1 2 1 2. Shouts to the East Coast and West Coast crew. Whatever you do, keep this hip hop shit true. That's all I ask of you. And that's when Doo-Wop came through with the hook on this one. 4 out of 5. Next up, we have Part Dukes, produced by Domingo. Yo, many thought it couldn't happen. Joe was never rapping. He was always getting loot off the cracking. Fucking with them heavyweights who had shit sewn in every state. The very sight to make the average man defecate. Living the life of stock bonds and cons were bond. When I be gone, I be worshiping like Nicky Bonds is on. You don't want no confrontation, killer communication, and suffer from multiple lacerations. Now, let me tell you something. My longtime fans, y'all will remember that On Funkmaster Flex Volume 1 mixtape, which I'm also going to do a 30-year retrospective on, Fat Joe used these same bars for a freestyle that he did with Big Pun. And Big Pun was incredible. Yo, you make me sick to my stomach. You don't really want it, riffing like you sniffing coke to scare me, but you barely blunt it. He killed that freestyle. And Fat Joe would use some lines on another song on this album on that same freestyle. So it wouldn't be the end of that. But as far as this song goes, it's dope. And you could look at it as Flow Joe Part 2. And it does even surpass its predecessor in a big way. And Domingo's use of Barry White's Love Serenade, it was pretty good too. So viewing it as Flow Joe Part 2 and surpassing it in a big way, I give it a 5 out of 5. Next up, we had a DJ Premier remix to The Shit Is Real. And even at this point in 1995, DJ Premier's production was unmistakable. And Joe came through with what I would consider his best song ever. And over the course of 3 verses, Joe talked about doing what it took to survive from his teen years all the way up to making it in the rap game. And again, songs like this were almost commonplace in 1995 hip hop, but it wasn't a cliche as of yet. Great song here, 5 out of 5. Next up, we have Respect Mine featuring Raekwon, produced by Joe Fatal. Let me tell you something about this joint. This joint goes so hard, and the way that Joe Fatal mixes a thumping beat with a sample courtesy of the Electric Prunes' Holy Are You is nothing short of amazing. Any other time, I would give a song like this a 5 out of 5, but since Raekwon was only on the hook, I've always taken off 0.5 for that. Raekwon would have closed this song with a dope verse in my opinion, but to just have him on the hook, even though the hook was dope, is a little disappointing, so I got to take off 0.5 for that. Next up, we have Watch Out featuring Armageddon, Big Pun, and Keith Nutt. This was produced by Diamond D. Now, this was a showcase for the guests, but it was more notable for being Pun's actual debut, and of course, his verse stole the show. 4 out of 5 for this one. Pun said, I doomed the world like I was God and I throw my gun away, then snatch the moon out of the sky and blow the sun away. Man, that guy was ill. I miss him, man. I really do miss Big Pun. Next up, we have Say Word, which was produced by Domingo. And this is another song where, when I was talking about that freestyle from the Funkmaster Flex Volume 1 mixtape earlier, on this song, Fat Joe was using some of the bars from this song in that same freestyle, but I'm not going to go through any more lines. It's decent, but it's not that different from Fat Joe's In Town. I give it 3 out of 5. Next up, we had a DJ Premier remix to Success. Now, I rarely say this when it comes to Primo production, but in the case of this remix, even with the same lyrics, the original was better, but not in a blowout. I give it 4 out of 5. Next up, we have Dedication. This was produced by Fat Joe himself, and in a nice touch, a very nice touch, Joe came through with a true dedication to hip-hop from the heart, including acknowledging those who paved the way for artists like him and others doing their thing in 1995. And I also got to give him a thumbs up for the use of Tyrone's In the Mood, which was very good. And the names he mentioned were Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, DJ Red Alert, Chris Lighty, rest in peace, Showbiz and AG, Kool G Rap, Guru, rest in peace, Redman, Apache, Naughty by Nature, Lord Finesse, Funkmaster Flex and the Flip Squad, Nice and Smooth, Wu-Tang Clan, LL Cool J, KRS-One, Nas, LES, Mobb Deep, rest in peace Prodigy, Puff Daddy, Biggie, rest in peace, DJ Clue, Doo-Wop, DJ SNS, Ron G, DJ Craig G, forever trying to look like me, says Joe, Grand Pooba, Cool Mike Ski, LA Love, Sadat X, and Das Effects. And of course, a song like this, a dedication to hip hop, you don't have to ask what it gets. It gets a 5 out of 5. And last but not least, we have Bronx Keeps Creating It, produced by Joe Fatal. This is another appropriately titled song, concluding the album in the same way that it started. It's all about the Bronx. And speaking of Joe Fatal, he came through with another dope beat, had some creative scratching with the BDP Bridges Over sample, and then another tight sample courtesy of David Axelrod's Holy Thursday. I give this one 4 out of 5. All right, and just like that, we've come to the end of the album. Now, this is my opinion. I've always felt this way, and I don't see this ever changing, but this is by far Fat Joe's best album ever. Lyrically and creatively, he fired on all cylinders. He had top-notch production to match, and quite frankly, He was at his best on the mic here. And of course, it was selected as one of the Source magazine's best albums in 1995. Now, I'm pretty sure some people can say there were other albums that came out that year that could have been in this place. But as far as I'm concerned, Jealous One's Envy more than deserved this spot on that list. And if you ever want to hear Joe in his prime over dope production, this is the album for you. 4 mics and a half for this one. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and close the video. Shout out to Fat Joe and everyone who had a hand in this classic. And yes, it is a classic. Like I said, it's his best album ever. Much props to Fat Joe. If you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. Let me know your thoughts about this album specifically and your thoughts on Fat Joe in general. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves and remember, microphone check 1 2 1 2. Shouts to the East Coast and West Coast crew. Whatever you do, keep this hip hop shit true. That's all I ask of you. And until the next video, peace, y'all.